How can brain development help our sense of well-being? Surely that's psychological. Well, actually, no. The neurology makes a massive difference to our sense of well-being, and here's why. The cerebellum is the bit that hardwires skills, all those myriad of everyday things that we do without thinking about them because the brain has perfected it, and it's actually the cerebellum that perfects them. And it takes them out of this space where we used to have to think about them and puts them up here where we don't have to think about them. So the better developed the cerebellum is, the more developed all of our everyday skills are, freeing up our working memory for those tasks that it needs to carry out. It's where we store lists in our mind, remembering the jobs we've got to do. It's where we make decisions. It's when we plan and where we think things through. A busy space. It doesn't need to be full of skills that could be hardwired and performed elsewhere. So the cerebellum makes a big difference to that. So the cerebellum creates automaticity. Automaticity means it isn't using up working memory capacity. When things are happening automatic, you feel confident. You're doing things without thinking about it. They're effortless and they're consistent, and you feel on top. So there's an enormous impact of developing the cerebellum on our sense of being on top. When we started our early research, this was something that shocked us. We were trying to achieve the development of one specific skill, but we discovered the consequence of, by automating that skill, we freed up this area. The impact of that on confidence and therefore a sense of well-being was huge. And you know what happens when there are people out there that think more of you than you do of yourself? It's often because you've got lots of things happening here. It reduces your confidence artificially. And incidentally, if other people think more of you than you do of yourself, you know what? It's they that are right. But it also gives a clue that there's things in here filling this up that need not be there. Things like having good verbal processing so that what you think effortlessly comes out of your mouth. Or auditory processing, things that you hear effortlessly without thinking about it becomes concepts and thoughts you understand. All of these things increases confidence, increases the sense of well-being. That's why that score is there in our Insight results.